Hey everybody, I am Mad Max of Maxwell Manor, and it is raining today, hence my t-shirt. I'm sure at some point I will want to go for a walk, but that some point is not now. Today is a lazy fucking day, so let's do lazy fucking day things. So, the Reddit posts are from my buddy Brad, Cybermeister, the very first fan I ever had, turned into a huge, great friend. Got a tattoo of him on my arm. The maple leaf. So let's see what his Reddit videos are. What is this? Shotgun propulsion challenge accepted. What's this shit?
Hey, the water's nice. You guys should really come out here.
That's funny. That's good. I like that. Alright, so there's link 1, here's link 2. Just a slight overreaction. Please, God, don't let this be loud. Okay, good, it did maintain my volume. That is definitely an attack by some mysterious power. That's abrupt, alright. Fucking cats. You know who doesn't do that? Dogs. Or at least my dog. That makes my dog superior to that cat. What is this? Dummy thick. Oh god. Am I gonna get fucked on this for copyright?
Look for the girls with big booties, the ones with fucking double D's. Forget about the ones that just look flat. I mean the girls with big booties, the ones you'd slip your cock with ease and watch them slide up and down the pole all night.
Fucking goddamn Brad. The look on Bagheera's face got me. That's pretty good. Alright, what's this? Oh, I've seen this one. Okay. This one's safe for work, but barely. That's good. It's a gun. Alright, video the one.
You guys weren't swallowed.
So, Sun posted this, and I don't like YouTube Shorts because I have to unloop them every time I watch them, and I don't want to have them repeating. So, I would prefer not to have YouTube Shorts if I can help it. But let's see, what'd she say?
By your mothers. Happy weren't swallowed day? What if I didn't still made it? Damn, that is some different level of mom penetration right there. That is determination! You were like, no, mother, I am sorry, but I need to shit talk this organ in a couple years.
Well, that was a thing.
In 2009, Matthew...
Okay, so this is a new video I found. Fucking goddamn allergies. The Stupidest Criminals of All Time by Sunny V2. So let's go back to the beginning of this. Having been in jail, this ought to be entertaining.
In 2009, Matthew McNally and Joey Miller robbed a home in Iowa, using masks drawn onto their faces with permanent black marker. Whilst on the run, the two discovered that permanent black marker doesn't rub off easily, leading to their simple arrest and embarrassingly stupid mugshots. However, these two still look like geniuses in comparison to some of the other idiots we'll be talking about as we discuss the stupidest criminals of all time. Take for example MacArthur Wheeler, who robbed two banks in broad daylight as he thought lemon juice on his face would make him invisible to cameras. When shown the bank surveillance footage, Wheeler refused to believe that he was visible, stating to officers, "But I wore the juice," believing that as long as he didn't come near a heat source, he should have been completely invisible. Police concluded the Wheeler was not crazy or on drugs, just incredibly mistaken, with the lemon juice mistake eventually costing Wheeler a 24.5-year prison sentence. However, if we're on the topic of terrible disguises, then we can't go past Dennis Hawkins, whose disguise as an old lady wasn't much better. His sweater accompanied fake boobs, a full beard, and fittingly clown pants, with this insanely recognizable outfit helping police to catch Hawkins only an hour after the robbery. The police chief for the area stated, "He would get my nomination for dumbest criminal, I think. You still have his black facial hair with a blondish wig. Definitely different." Different is also a good way to describe Patrick McGuire's disguise, who robbed an Illinois convenience store while covering his face with a clear plastic bag. He was only able to obtain $60 from the robbery. However, due to his extensive criminal history, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison for the stunt, meaning that he had to spend 1 year in prison for every $4 stolen from the store. Talk about a bad return. Equally bad was Paul Sinclair's, who attempted to rob a bank in Florida by using his fingers curled up into a gun shape. The quote-unquote
I've heard of those
so
before.
Threatening that the bank
I've heard of people doing that before. They'll like have their hands in their pockets, in their jacket pockets, and they'll point, and it'll make it look like the muzzle of a gun. But actually taking your hand out, that is peak stupid.
teller gave him only $120, after which he'd flee on foot before being caught by police only 10 minutes later. Then there was James Blankenship, who thought that robbery was legal as long as you did it at a certain time of day. Back in 2013, Blankenship broke into his own mother's home, after which the police were called, who would take to their Facebook page later that day to explain what had happened. He fled the scene upon seeing his mother. The male was located under the house hiding in a crawl space. When advised of his charges, he made the statement, "I thought you could only be charged with burglary if you break in during the night time."
Oh, Christ. Hon, are you hearing this shit? God damn. At least I actually... Oh, God.
Blankenship was given 180 days in jail and ordered to pay a $100 fine, yet this wasn't the only time when a person was dumb enough to think that a law didn't apply to them. Because when Reuben Pavin was caught stealing from a charity thrift shop in New Hampshire, he'd state that he thought everything was free because of the name of the business, Finders Keepers. The sign did say Finders Keepers, so I took that DVD player, took it home, Pavin told the local TV station. A couple of weeks later, the stuff is still there on the porch, so I'm thinking to myself, Finders Keepers, they probably just put stuff out there for people to take. The business responded via Facebook stating, "This man who was caught on video is saying it is all a misunderstanding. He thought everything at our store was free. Is that really the best defense you could come up with?" After which Pavin reportedly turned in the stolen goods to police, holding that he's not a bad person or a bad dad, and is rather just unbelievably stupid. But was he as dumb as Derek Mosley, who in 2013 attempted to rob a store named Discount Gun Sales by using a baseball bat?
Oh, I knew I recognized that fucking name from somewhere. I've heard that story. That's funny. And painfully stupid. But mostly funny.
Mosley allegedly barged into Discount Gun Sales and smashed a display counter with his baseball bat. The store manager simply pulled out his own personal firearm and pointed it straight at the would-be robber, holding Mosley in the store until he was arrested and charged with first-degree robbery. A similar story then came out of Texas in July 2022 when a gun store was robbed at knife point, although this tale instead ended in a body bag as the robber was fatally shot by the store owner as he tried to exit with his loot. But what happens when you accidentally call 911 whilst committing a crime?
Oh god.
Dialing the police is probably a fairly common occurrence. However, for Carson Reinhardt and Nathan Teklemariam, it happened at the most unfortunate
Those are
moment,
some names.
specifically while they were breaking into a car. The alert dispatcher soon realized that the call was an accidental one, and moreover that the guys on the other end might be up to no good. For the next 35 minutes, the dispatcher stayed on the line, listening and gathering information, as Teklemariam and Reinhardt did the following. Discovered a car that they thought they could burglarize, discussed how to break into the car, allegedly broke into the car, exclaimed in delight over finding narcotics in the car, became confused as to how and why a police car was following them, and reacted in disbelief when the arresting officer revealed that they'd been on the line to 911 the entire time. Scott Simon found himself in a similar situation, although under much more severe circumstances. Whilst on trial for murder in 2015, Scott was successfully sentenced to life in prison, as 2 years prior he'd pocket dialed the police while admitting to a friend that he was the one who committed the crime. He had no idea he called 911, a sheriff's office spokeswoman told the Miami Herald. He basically told on himself, as did Albert Bailey, although in a much stupider way. Bailey had planned on robbing a bank in Fairfield, Connecticut, although rather than exercising the element of surprise, he'd call the bank prior to the robbery stating, "I want $100,000 in large bills and no die packs. I'll be sending someone into the bank to get the money. Don't call the police, we are monitoring the police scanner." Prior to making this phone call, Bailey had already served 7 years in prison for a previous bank robbery. However, this new plan was equally ineffective, as after arriving at the bank to collect his cash, Bailey was locked inside, arrested, and sentenced to another 9 years in prison. Although,
that'll
to
show him.
avoid this time behind bars, he could have had a chat with Tito and Amanda Watt.
So, I have a question. How do they become this stupid? We are at the end point of their stupidity, but what is the beginning point of their stupidity? Is it societal? Is it drugs? Is it both? Is it braid dabblage? Is it trivial braid dabblage? What in the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, mentally, what is wrong with these people? Because there's definitely something mentally wrong with these people. I am disappointed. Nobody's in chat. Wait. Wow, nobody's in chat. What the fuck? I am streaming, right? Yeah, I'm streaming. That's weird. You're missing the world's dumbest criminals. Or maybe she's not, who knows. Anyway.
Who got arrested in Florida for selling tickets to enter heaven at a price of $100. Tito Watts said in his police statement, "I don't care what the police say, the tickets are solid gold, and it was Jesus who gave them to me behind the KFC and said to sell them so I could get me some money to go to outer space."
Okay, that one's drugs. Holy crap! That's a lot of hallucinogens. That's the only way you get convinced of that shit. Or some weed that has been dosed with hallucinogens.
You should arrest Jesus because he's the one who gave me the golden tickets.
Oh yes, of course.
I'm willing to wear a wire and set Jesus up. The couple had apparently earned over $10,000 from the stunt, meaning that they were able to find people even dumber than them, one of which might have been Ruben Zarate. While attempting to rob a muffler shop in 2008, Zarate was told that the shop couldn't access the money safe without their manager, who didn't begin his shift until later that afternoon. Instead of bailing on the robbery, Zarate instead gave them his phone number, asking them to give him a ring the next time the manager was in. They did so later that afternoon, although after returning to the store, Zarate received no money and was instead met by police and charged with aggravated robbery. Then there was the man who gave the people he was robbing something even stupider. The unnamed robber walked into a London bank carrying a gun and a bag, which he'd take to the front desk before demanding £700,000 in cash from the bank worker. But after making his demands, the crook handed over his gun to the cashier instead of the bag. Investigating authorities stated, the guess is that he is very inexperienced and panicked when he approached the cashier, handing over his gun instead of a bag by mistake. But it was Trevor Jones who left an even more damning piece of evidence at his crime scene. After breaking into a house in Atlanta, Jones took a moment to check his Facebook on the owner's computer before—
Bro, come on! Like, you hear about the older generations going, oh, the younger kids are stupider than we were. And then you see shit like this and you go, maybe they're onto something. Like, I know they're not. God knows we had stupid people back when I was a kid. Jesus Christ, the stories I could tell you. But it's enough to give you pause, that's for goddamn sure. Jesus Christ.
leaving without logging out. Less than 3 years later, a similar story entered news headlines.
Of course.
A 26-year-old Minnesota man has been tracked down by police after leaving his Facebook profile logged in at a house he allegedly robbed, although this story has a much funnier ending. The homeowner decided to message the robber via his Facebook, stating, "You left a few things at my house last night, how can I get them back to you?" which was followed by the robber agreeing to come back to the home so he could collect the stuff he forgot. However, the robber didn't get any of his items his back and was instead arrested while still wearing a watch that he'd stolen from the night before. While both of these idiots used social media poorly, at least they didn't brag about the robbery in a YouTube video, as is what happened in the bizarre case of Hannah Sabata. In 2012, at the age of 19, Sabata stole $6,000 from a bank in Nebraska, and while almost anybody else would have simply kept quiet, Hannah instead took to her YouTube channel Jelly Beanie to upload a video titled Chick Bank Robber, in which she'd straight up admit to having just committed a robbery. She'd then discuss her entire methodology for the crime while showing the money and the amount that had been stolen, before concluding the video by describing the vehicle she had used and that it had its license plates removed. This information eventually resulted in Hannah Sabata's arrest and sentencing of 10 to 20 years prison, done so in a public courtroom filled to maximum capacity with people who had seen the video. Just 2 years prior to this, 21-year-old Frank Singleton was being released from Palm Beach County Jail, having just served time for a trespassing charge. The only issue was he didn't have a car to leave the jail, so he decided to steal one from the visitors' parking lot, yet the car he decided to steal was a manual and he could only drive.
Of course.
Singleton sat in the car looking like an idiot before being arrested and sentenced to a further 6 years in prison, telling deputies that he tried to take the car because he didn't feel like walking to his home about 6 miles away. And while you may be sat here thinking that these criminals can't get any dumber, it's time to introduce 53-year-old Michael Anthony Fuller. While it's common knowledge that the US banknote doesn't go any higher than $100, Fuller had the genius idea to create a counterfeit $1 million note before trying to use it at his local Walmart. He loaded his cart with a vacuum cleaner, a microwave, and various other items totaling $472 before handing the $1 million note to the cashier, expecting $999,528 in change.
Bro.
Needless to say, Walmart wasn't able to facilitate this, and instead store staff called police. Fuller was later charged with attempting to obtain property by false pretense and uttering a forged instrument.
Wow. Come on. With that shit, come on.
This episode was brought to you by Current.
Which one's this one? Oh, the chips tier list. Oh, good. I like chips.
Chips are a highly debated topic. The competition for #1 chip is a cutthroat one, and I figured I'd come in here and once and for all settle the debates and tell you what the best chips are. Now obviously we won't be covering every chip ever made because there's millions, and I know it's gonna make a couple people out there angry just fucking slamming their keyboard with both hands in the comments. Charlie, you must have made a mistake. I didn't see Old Farmer Bud's gluten-free mulch chips on this tier list. You'll have to redo the whole thing. You can find it at the local lemonade stand here in Delaware. What we're covering is just going to be the major brands most of you have heard of and major flavors, and pretty much whatever we could find at the close gas station. So let's just go right into this. First and foremost, I want to just kick this shit off right now with my favorite chip, Cape Cod.
Never heard of them.
Cape Cod chips, you can't beat them. We couldn't find them at the gas station, which I think should just be grounds for closing the gas station entirely, because it's fucking worthless if it doesn't carry Cape Cod. Cape Cod kettle chips, absolutely S tier all fucking day. And if you really want to get wacky and take a recipe out of my cookbook here, take your Cape Cod chips, get some ketchup, and dip the fucking chips in there. You're gonna call me crazy, but people called Pablo Picasso crazy too. That combination right there is some of the most flavorful chips you will ever have in your life. It's so delectable, and I just wanted to start that off right now because that is an S tier, and that is setting the bar extremely high for what the S tier will consist of. So now we can go into the chips we actually found and tasted.
Start with the classic.
Yeah, start with
Lay's classic.
the most boring chip ever made.
Still good?
Okay, so my thing about chips. I love salt. Saltier the better. So, I will be ranking chips based on how much I crave them, how much I use them. And plain Lay's, A tier. In terms of flavor, nah. In terms of salt, awesome.
Though, I think.
When was this potato chip invented? Like back when the Grapes of Wrath was written or something?
Do you know when the Grapes of Wrath were written?
Well, it had to be more than like 50 years ago, right? Somewhere in that ballpark.
I needed one.
But what if you get a bad chip?
Alright, that's true. We need a sample size.
Yeah, alright. Cheers.
Cheers.
That's boring. Just immediately boring.
There we go.
All the fun I was having before the video just went out the window. It's just boring.
Do you not like it though?
No, it's just boring.
Like it's a good chip.
Yeah, they're not bad. I'm just saying they're boring. It's like, it's like the last chip you'd want. Like if you're getting chips, you should get something that like makes you go wow.
You are wrong. A tier. Get fucked.
We'll make you go wow. I guess we'll find that out today.
All right, we got a cutscene or few coming up, so up goes the volume. Before I, here we go. And before I see all the speechifying, check something really quick. Guess my bladder's on fucking thimble today, at least for a while. How annoying. Anyway, turns out the wife didn't see my message, so she missed the entire World's Dumbest Criminals, and that kind of sucks because she would have really liked it, but she can always watch it on the VOD. God knows I'm gonna have the links up. So, they don't like plain Lays. I rated it an A because the taste is okay, the salt is supreme. We'll get back to that in a second, but I have 3 cutscenes to listen to, so I turned my game up and yeah, let's get into that. Fucking goddamn allergies, I swear to God, they're never gonna go away. There we go.
ラウバーン局長の後ろ、ウルダ派の国旗を見てごらん。あの絵柄は黒地に金の天秤という意匠さ。天秤の左側には富を表す宝石、右側には力を表す炎が置かれている。
Alphino's voice is so much better in Japanese. Now granted, the Heavensward version of Alphino's voice is pretty good, but I think the Japanese captures it so much better.
これまでウルダ派の繁栄は巨万の富を生み出した。5年前のカルテノーの戦いにおいても皆が財と才を投じ、エオルゼア同盟3として最も多くの戦力を提供した。その結果として 帝国軍第7軍隊を打ち破ったのだ。
打ち破っただって一体誰のおかげで今があると思っているんだ。
だが多くの兵が帰ってこなかった。彼らの魂がナルザル神の恩元にたどり着き、来世で幸運をつかむことを祈ろう。かの戦いは結果的に勝利と呼べるものではなかったかもしれぬ。
So one thing I do like about Final Fantasy XIV is that the same creature in different regions has different names because they're different cultures. I like how they actually give the different city-states different cultures, even if it's just a little different.
しかし第7零歳後のこの困難の時代、皆が己のことだけを考えるようになっていった。ウルダ派の現状を見よ。難民が押し寄せ、貧者がそこら中にいる。
Should I turn the music down so that the voices are more audible?
それなのに不者たちは財を投じて助けようとはしない。
Yulia underscore Sura. Robin sounds like one of those generals from anime, the older ones who take no nonsense. He
Yeah.
doesn't sound barbaric enough to be called the bull of Alamayo. Yulia underscore Sura, and maybe a smidge, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought too.
今のこのウルダ派の状況をカルテローで戦った友達に誇れるのか。
He seems like he should have a gray mustache.
ウルダ派を不滅体を信じて散っていった者たちに、お前たちのおかげで平和になったと胸を張って誇れるのか。
Yulia underscore Sura, sorry, I like the English actor better for him.
アマルジャ族の脅威は相変わらず強く、ウルダ派の生命線である交易路を脅かしている。さらにガレマール帝国に至っては一部地域を占領し、精輪水などの資源を奪っている。
I want to hear Nanamo. That's gonna be funny.
ウルダ派の国難は続いているのだ。商人による自治を望む共和派も、王家に忠誠を誓う王党派も、共にウルダ派の繁栄を望んでいるはずであろう。この国難こそ正気であり、同時に正気である。富を求める全ての者よ、武を誇る全ての者よ。目先の富だけを追うのではなく、国を、世界を見据えよ。今一度七母女王陛下のもとに結集するのだ。ウルダ派を守るグランドカンパニー不滅隊を信じ、私腹を肥やすのではなく、不滅隊に投資しろ。
Yeah, don't line your coffers, line our coffers. Taxes, taxes, taxes.
エオルゼアの駅はウルダ派の国益である。そして国益は国民の駅である。七母様、
苦しゅうない。
It's actually a fairly regal voice.
ウルダ派第17代国王ナナモールナモである。わらわから言うことは一つだけじゃ。ウルダ派の宝は金銀でも宝石でもあらぬ、そなたたち民じゃ。民の知恵、民の勇気、民の笑顔、何より民の命こそウルダ派の誇る最大の宝なのじゃ。
At least she actually sounds like a princess and not a fucking child like in English.
ウルダ派の民よ、わらわと共にエオルゼア全土をウルダ派のごとく繁栄に導くのじゃ。
勝敗は速さと速さが分かつ。全ては永遠なる女王陛下とウルダ派の繁栄のために。
That is such a fucked up visual. Just that he can stand there stone-faced while she sits on his arm like a
Yulia
fucking
underscore Sura.
parrot.
Yeah, Nanamo's voice is better this way. It's a shame I can't have specific characters in Japanese.
Right? But I'll continue the video once we finish these three.
私はアルフィノという。彼女はアリゼだ。私たちはこのカルテノー戦没者追悼式典を見て回っているのさ。各国のグランドカンパニーの名手たちがどういった主張をするのか楽しみでね。
I'm very curious what Ali Say will sound like. I do know that Kane Senna sounds a lot better in Japanese, but Merlib does not. But then again, Merlib's voice in Heaven's Word and Beyond is apparently really bad too in English, so... Do my red pants look like I'm gonna support them? So now we'll want to go to Gridania. Wait, where's Halatali? Oh, it's in Eastern Thanalon. Ah, we'll knock that out eventually. If it doesn't start fucking warming up a little bit, I'm not actually going to be able to go for a fucking walk. My goddamn joints are just fucked. But at the same time, I'd rather have the window open because, the shock
Julia
of...
underscore Sura. Her English voice actress certainly sounds more like a pirate in Heaven's Ward on, and it does, grudgingly, grow on me. But her original English voice actress was at least able to properly pronounce her own name.
Yeah? That's no bueno. Oh, that's the one of the Palace of the Dead. Yeah, I'll get this quest going. Wait, whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. Did you notice, hon? Our guild is allied with the fucking Order of the Twin Adder, you goddamn elves. Ugh. Blech! Oh, hun, did you know that you don't actually have to have a Twitch stream up on your main computer to be able to talk to me? What you can do is you can pop out the chat and just have the little chat window up. That way you're not eating resources trying to follow me on your main computer. Or I guess you could message me on your phone. Speaking of, I should probably check my messages. Okay, nothing. Alright, let's listen to Kane Senna's good voice acting.
うちの息子も霊災で死んだんだ。幻術子様だ。お揃いだぞ。
カルテノはひどい戦いでさ。
Oh, god damn it, I forgot to turn down the music. Although I don't think that's going to be an issue here.
今から500年前の遠い昔、精霊を恐れ洞穴の暗がりに隠れ住んでいた人々が長き対話を経て精霊の許しを経て森に都を築きました。
Yeah, I guess it was just that one song that was just super loud.
その都の名はグリダニア。ヒューランとエレゼンは手を取り合い生きてきました。今ではムーンキーパーの方々も少ないながら都に身を寄せ共に歩んでおります。
Oh, no, never mind. I stand corrected.
Yulia underscore Sura. She sounds like a Rurouni Kenshin character. Who does her Japanese voice?
That's a good question. Let me look it up real quick. Where's that button? Let's go to the wiki. Let's see. Con... Senna. Voiced by Rie Tanaka. So let me see. You might be right. She might be a Rurouni Kenshin character. Wikipedia. Anime. Nope. She was Chi in Chobits. And she was Yomi in Azumanga Daioh. A bunch of crap I've never heard of.
Yulia underscore Sura. Hey, wrong anime, but I knew I had heard her before.
Oh, she was in Toradora. I've never been able to finish that anime. Oh, she was in Girls in Panzer. She was Maho. Wait. No, never mind. I thought that was somebody else. Oh, she was trainee in Reincarnated as a Slime too. Damn, she's done a bunch. Jesus Christ. Well, good ear on you, hon.
この調和と協調が苗床となり、大地と豊穣の女神ノフィカ様のご厚を受け、グリダニアという大樹は繁栄を続けてきました。
The reason you can't hear Yomi is because she's not pissed off. If for some reason Kane Senna got pissed off, she'd probably turn immediately into Yomi.
カヌエ様の後ろ、グリダニアの国旗を見てごらん。絡み合う2匹の白蛇はヒューランとエレゼンの2種族の協力を
Yulia underscore Sura. Yomi I.
今の話を象徴するものだ。
All she needs is a Tomo-chan.
この誉れ高きグリダニアを、いえ、愛すべきエオルゼア全土を侵略せんとする北方のガレマール帝国。私たちグリダニアがこの脅威から森を守るためにグランドカンパニー、ソージャ島を結成して対抗したことは皆様の記憶に新しいでしょう。グリダニアは森の調和を重んじ、歴史上も侵略者に対して一歩も引かずに戦ってきました。その伝統の通り、ソージャ島は帝国と相対したのです。
I still have the distinction of slaying a lot of the darkness.
そしてグリダニアが重んじる調和と協調はエオルゼア都市軍事同盟の実行化を促し、エオルゼア同盟軍の成立へと導いたのです。
イエーイ。
ですが5年前、カルテノーの戦いが起こりました。この戦いは想像を絶するものでした。多くの戦死者を出したことは事実です。ソージャ島の最高司令官である当主として私は責任を痛感しています。第7零祭で森は深く傷つき、5年を経た今なお癒えきってはおりません。森の被害は皆様の生活にも深く影響しています。こんな時だからこそ皆で手を取り合わなくてはならない。それにもかかわらず嘆かわしいことに貧しさに負け盗賊になる者、密猟者になる者が後を絶ちません。そして我らが旧敵イクサル族は相も変わらず森に侵入してきては自然の恵みを奪い精霊の心を乱しています。第7零祭以降 私たちの故郷グリダニアは不安定な状況が続いているのです。
確かに親友隊は帰国隊も賊の討伐に大わらわだそうだ。
カルテノーの戦いはとても悲しい戦いでした。あの戦いで亡くなられた数多くの同胞に哀悼の意を表します。
記憶をなくしている連中が誰に哀悼するっていうのよ。
Oh, I like her voice.
しかしガレマール帝国との戦いはまだ続いているのです。彼らは森に横島なる砦を築き居座っております。ですが国内が不安定な状態では帝国軍を追い払うなど叶わぬ夢でありましょう。私たちは再びグランドカンパニーソージャ島の下で団結しガレマール帝国と戦わなくてはなりません。カルテノーの戦いから5年、この節目の年にグリダニアの理念、調和と協調を思い出してください。そして今一度皆様の結束を。もう耐える時は過ぎました。悠久の風は私たちと共にあります。
Alright, that needs to be muted. Oh, god damn it. There we go. For a few hours. Because the guy's chat is focused on Brandon finding a job. Ron was asking how that was going, so... I don't need to hear that beeping every 5 fucking seconds.
赤心の前に道は必ず開けるのです。精霊の導きとともにこの森に平和を取り戻し、次の500年後の子孫にも豊かな森を残せるようにしようではありませんか。
Goddamn hippies. 'Forgot another cutscene.
Yeah, また会ったね。
That's right, Alphanode. You look up to me. It ain't getting it from me. Alright, now to go to Limsa. Up. There we go. We'll drop it down to 90 and see how that works. Fuck! Alright.
だが帝国との戦いは提督の手柄だ。
協定も結局はダメだったしさ。
うちの船もかなり沈められたよ。
聞け、誇り高き海の民よ、思い起こせ、魂揺さぶる我らの旗を。
I know what the problem is with Merleb's Japanese voice. It feels like it should be an octave lower.
伝説の建国船ガラディオン号が漂着し、リムサロミーサの礎が築かれたのが今から700年前。皆海洋と航海の神リムレーンに導かれ、海の民として生きてきた。
メルウィブ提督の後ろ、リムサ・ロミンサの国旗を見てごらん。流線旗と呼ばれる模様だ。赤は犠牲となった仲間たちの血を、黒のロングシップは海賊船を意味しているんだよ。
エオルゼアを侵略してきたガレマール帝国に対して、我々はグランドカンパニー国家団を結成した。5年前帝国とのカルテノーの戦いにおいても、直前にヒルフィル以下の海賊諸派と同盟関係を結び、ガラディオン協定を成立させ、共に戦いに挑んだ。海の民の底力を見せつけたのだ。しかし結果は皆が知っての通りだ。国家団、海賊勢力ともにカルテノーでは多くの者が死んだ。自由のため、己の正義のために戦い、苦しくも丘の上で散っていった者たちに哀悼の意を。
自由か。そう、人はみんな利己的さ。
Talking shit about my liberty?
でもそれは蛮族だって同じはずだ。人と蛮族は根本的には何も違わないのだから。
He slanders my freedom, he must be killed.
この5年、我々は決死の思いでリムサロミンサを復興してきた。第7零祭の傷は深く、未だ癒えきらない。そんな中、リムサロミンサは以前にも増して輝き、リムレーンのベールの名に恥じない都市へ復興を遂げることができた。しかしこの我々の努力を踏みにじろうとしている奴らがいる。蛮神リヴァイアさんを信奉するサハ銀族がついに上陸した。
マジかよ。
サハ銀族が。
そして蛮神タイタンを信奉するコボルド族がオゴモロ山を出て南下してきている。この蛮族たちは今後のリムサロミンサの繁栄に大きな壁となって立ちふさがるだろう。さらにはガレマール帝国だ。帝国軍がリムサロミンサ領内に砦を築いた。全面衝突も時間の問題だ。リムサロミンサは今三方からの敵に囲まれている。しかるに国内に海賊問題を抱え、内部が一枚岩ではない。今まさに我々は嵐の中にいると言えよう。この嵐の中、我らが取るべき進路はただ一つ。蛮族帝国を打ち払い、リムサロミンサが新たな世へ進むための航路を開くのみ。
She sure does love her metaphor.
そのためには第7零祭の後、分裂した海賊諸派と国家団が再び手を取り合い、冒険者と共に一丸となって困難に立ち向かうほかない。 不可能は人が作り出すもの。返せば可能もまた人が作り出すもの。誇り高き海の民よ、その力、その技術、その知識を今一度集結せよ。我々は一つ真紅の旗のもとに生きる憤慶の友である。
提督万
早速野郎どもを集めなきゃな。
歳。血がたぎるぜ。俺は提督についていくぜ。
やあ、また会ったね。
Ah, she got him doing it now. And my thinking is after the cutscene where they argue, that'll probably be when I lower the volume and put on the YouTube and stuff. Oh, I got a card. All right. I wonder. Oh good, it is gonna heat up. Oh good! I can stop and go for my walk right after this cutscene.
あの冒険者はどこの国のグランドカンパニーを選ぶんだろうね。
And under those auspices, I shall bring the, what the fuck? Ugh. Bring the video back to the beginning so that we can start it over because I don't like stopping in the middle of a video. So, when I get back, we'll have a bunch of, you know, a bunch more food tier lists.
いずれにしてもこれで世界は動き始める。
アルフィノ、あなた本当にこれでいいと思ってる？
どういうことだい、アリゼ？
各国の演説を聞いたでしょ。どの国も自分の国の問題と綺麗事ばかり。原因を深く調べるでもなく、まるで第7連載なんて忘れてしまったかのよう。
確かに綺麗事だったかもしれないがね。気づいたかい、アリゼ？各国の名手たちは光の戦士たちを引き合いに出さなかった。光の戦士たちは 第7零祭からエオルゼアを救った英雄だ。その英雄を出さなかったということは、各国がそれぞれに自立を模索しているということ。このエオルゼアは零祭で深く傷ついた。それでもどの国も明日へ向かって歩み出している。蛮族、蛮神、エオルゼアにはまだまだ問題が山積みだ。各国のグランドカンパニー、そして暁の決命、彼らはその問題を解決する鍵だよ。いいかいアリゼ、明日のために、未来のために、第7零祭は過去にしなければならないんだよ。
おじい様はあんな奴らに未来を託したわけでも組織を残したわけでもないわ。私は私のやり方で世界の明日を見つけてみせます。
お互い目指すところは同じはずだ。いつの日か分かり合える日も来るよ。
だといいわね。
お嬢様、お待ちください。無理にでも分かり合わないといけないのさ。それが僕たち慶米の宿命なんだから。それに鍵は扉を開くためにあるだけじゃない。過去を知りたくもない真相を閉じるにもまた鍵は必要なのさ。
I am thinking the music needs to come down another 10 degrees.
Sunsi all. Video reactions while gaming. Whole hey hey hey. It sounds like Max is evolving. Sunsi oh.
I did listen to your video, son. I actually brought it up. My plan is when there's short videos like that, I'll just watch them really quick before I start, because that's what I did with Brad's videos too. I'm going to go for walks because the weather has cleared up a little bit, so I won't freeze my fucking hands off, because apparently that's where all the cold
Sunsi all.
lives now.
I posted a new one.
Oh, did you? Let me just see here. Ah! Oh boy. Well, I will start with that one next. So, anyway, I have been Mad Max, and I will be back after my walk and shower. So...
Sunsi all. 07.
Yep. I watched the Sunny V2 video. I watched all of Brad's and your Shy Lily clip. So, yeah, you'll be able to see it in the VOD. Anyway, I'll be back in a few hours.